and welcome to this tutorial. In these previous tutorials, we learned how to import the libraries and to import the dataset. And now, we are finally going to start preparing the dataset that our machine learning models run correctly. And the first problem that we have to deal with is the case where you have some missing data in your dataset, and that happens quite a lot actually in real life. So you have to get the trick to handle this problem and make it all good for your machine learning model to run correctly. So let's have a look at the dataset here. Okay, so here is the dataset, and as you can see, there is two missing data. There is one missing data in the age column here for Spain and one missing data in the salary column for Germany. So how can we handle this problem? Well, the first idea is to remove the lines of the observations where there is some missing data. So what we could do is to remove this line and remove this line, but that can be quite dangerous because imagine this dataset contains crucial information. It would be quite dangerous to remove an observation. So we need to figure out a better idea to handle this problem. And another idea that's actually the most common idea to handle missing data is to take the mean of the columns. So here we are going to replace this missing data here by the mean of all the values in the column age, and that's the same for every feature that contains missing data. We replace this missing data by the mean of the values in the column that contains this missing data. So that is the strategy we're going to use. And let's do it right now on Python. Now, open the Spider. So as usual, we are going to take a library to do this job for us. We're not going to implement the function mean by ourselves. We will, to make it the simplest as possible. So the library that we are going to use for this one is called scikit-learn preprocessing. And from this library, we are going to import the imputer class. So let's do this. So to import this library in Python, we need to type from sklearn.preprocessing. Here it is, and import imputer. Okay, so I will just explain what this is. So sklearn is scikit-learn actually, and it contains amazing libraries to make machinery models. And from scikit-learn, we import this preprocessing library that contains a lot of classes, methods to preprocess any datasets. That is exactly what we are doing right now. And from this library, we are importing that imputer class, which will allow us to take care of those missing data. Okay, and now that we imported the class, we now need to create an object of the class. So to create this object, we are going to start giving a name to this object, and we are going to call it imputer. Imputer equal. Let's make things simple. And now we are going to call the class that we just imported, which is imputer with the capital I. Then, now a good thing to do this, to press Ctrl I to see the object inspector here. Ctrl plus I is like a command inspect. So we are inspecting the imputer here to get some info about this class and see what parameters we have to input. Okay, so here we have the parameters, and the first parameter is missing values. So in parentheses, we're going to put missing values. And so for missing values, we are gonna choose NaN. N-A-N. And why is that? It's because when we go to our dataset in Variable Explorer, Okay, we can see that the missing values are called NaN. So by putting NaN here with capital N, actually, it will recognize the missing values to take care of. Okay, so let's press close button here. Now what is the next parameter? The next parameter is the strategy. Okay, so that's good. Let's add strategy here. Comma, strategy equal. And what strategy are we going to use? Of course, we are going to use the mean strategy because we are going to replace the missing values by the mean of the column. So let's choose here. And actually, mean is the default value for the strategy parameter, so we wouldn't need to input strategy calls mean, but let's put it that way to understand what we are doing. And then, what is the next parameter? The next parameter is axis. Okay, so if axis equals 0, that means that we are taking the mean of the columns, and if axis equals 1, that means that we are taking the means of the rows. So of course it makes much more sense to take the means of the columns because it's the mean of the feature. So of course we are going to choose axis equal 0. And we are not going to take care of the rest of the parameters because they are not important. We have the essential parameters here, and we are ready to go to the next step, which is to fit this imputer object to our data X, to our matrix of feature X. So that's what we are going to do right now. Okay, so to fit this imputer object to our matrix of feature X, we need to do this. We are going to type imputer.fit. You see, it's quite intuitive. And then, in fact, of course, we are going to input what we want to fit the imputer to, which is X. However, we are not going to fit the imputer on the total matrix. Let's have a look at matrix again. The matrix is here, as you can see, and we are not going to fit the imputer to all the matrix. We are only going to fit to the columns where there is some missing data. So here we are going to add some bracket here. And as usual, we want to take the whole column. So we will take all the lines by putting colon here. Sorry. Then comma. And then here, that's where we are going to choose the right column. That means the column that contains missing data. So the column here is the second column, and the third column, that is the age column, and the salary column. So we need to put the indexes of the second and third column. And do you remember what indexes we have to use? Index in Python start at 0. So this column here has index 1, and this column here has index 2. Okay, so here to input those two indexes, we are going to type 1 colon 3. And sorry about that, guys, it's not going to be 2 here, it's going to be 3. And the reason for that is that the upper bound is excluded. So yeah, by putting 1 colon 3 here, that means that we are taking indexes 1 and 2, but the lower bound is included. So you just have to get used to the syntax in Python, and you will soon be much more comfortable. But for now, I agree that is sometimes quite confusing, but that's how it is. Okay, that's all to fit the imputer object to our matrix X. So now, what is the imputer that fit x1 to 3? It's actually the same object imputer that was fit to the matrix X. So what we need to do is to add, can do with this, imputer equal with imputer that fit x1 to 3. Okay, cool. So now by adding this imputer equals that the imputer object is now fitted to the matrix X. Okay, and now we just need to do one last thing, which is to replace the missing data of the matrix X by the mean of the column. So to do this, we need to do X bracket. Then we need to select the columns where there is some missing data. So as usual, colon, comma. Okay, take all the lines, and then the same we need to take the two indexes of the columns that contain missing data, which are indexes 1 and 2. So here it is, the same as here we type 1 colon 3 equal imputer. And we are going to apply the method of the imputer object, which is transform. So we can type like this, imputer dot transform. So here the transform method is here, and this is the method that is going to replace the missing data by the mean of the column. So here what we only have to do is to take the two columns of the data X and put it in the parentheses here, this X brackets colon comma 1 colon 3, and that's it. That's how you take care of missing data with Python. So now we are going to select this block of code and execute. First of all, you want to block this library, this whole library to make sure all library already run. All good. You can see that the code is run properly. And now let's look at X and let's see what happens. Great. The missing data were replaced by the mean of the salary that was missing was replaced by 63,777.77, and the age that was missing was replaced by 38.7 years old. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so congratulations. Now you know how to take care of missing data in Python. You can have fun and try to use another strategy. For example, you can take the median strategy, which will replace your missing value by the median of the column. Or you can take the most frequent value of the column, which could also be a good idea depending on the context. Cool. If you have any question, you can leave the comment below. And if you like this course, don't forget to subscribe this channel. Okay, so I look forward to see you in the next tutorial. The next tutorial will be about the categorical data. So we will learn how to encode categorical data. You will understand why we have to do this. I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial. Enjoy machine learning and have a good day. See ya!